Hi, good morning, and once again, welcome you all on this online lecture platform. And today, we'll discussing about strategies for culture of unculturable bacteria. So far, in this particular unit, in previous lecture, we have covered basic concept of unculturable microbial community, then techniques that are used to access this unrevealed microbial diversity that we have seen molecular based approaches. Then we have studied extraction and isolation of DNA from environmental samples. This is a very critical and crucial step in any kind of metagenomic analysis. And here in this today's lecture, we'll discuss some of the advanced methods that are used to culture so-called unculturable bacteria. Okay, so in first lecture I have discussed with you that metagenomics is the study of organism. So to those organism we study by which we cannot culture. So metagenomics is the study of organism that we cannot culture in laboratory condition or artificial condition. Okay, so most of the microbial community, almost 99% microbial community is unculturable. They resist for culturing at normal laboratory conditions or any kind of controlled environmental conditions. And in that we have discussed some of the factors why these microbes they resist for culturing, and in that we discuss few points that we exactly don't know what type of nutrition they prefer for their normal growth. Besides that, we actually don't know what type of environmental conditions or what type of environment they prefer for their normal growth. Also, they need some community based approaches. They need assistance of other microbes, or they can only grow in presence of other microbes that we call community. So most of the microbes they resist because they can only grow in presence of other microbes or in presence of other microbial community. Okay, so these are some of the reasons behind resist for culturing of this kind of microbial diversity. But there are some advanced techniques that are invented and still they are under development stage, and most of the scientists they are continuously working to unravel the secrets behind this unculturable microbial community, and they are trying to culture these unrevealed bacteria or unculturable microbial communities. Okay, so some methods they are developed, and in case of microbial cultivation methods, to gain a comprehensive understanding of microbial physiology or to access metabolic pathways containing genes dispersed throughout the genome, cultivation of microbes is required. If we want to study microorganism with the depth, with all respects of its physiology, structure, and genomic based studies, so it requires that the microbe should be in pure culture form. Okay, so cultivation of microbes is required. Only 27 out of 53 bacterial phyla contain previously cultivated microorganism. Okay, so with many phyla represented by only a few isolates and some of the phyla containing only one described species. Okay, if you look at this picture, here in this picture you can see the major bacterial phyla, and it includes majority proteobacteria, then bacteroids, actinobacteria, firmicutes. They are indicated with different colors, and they are the well characterized microbial communities. They contain well characterized microbes, and besides that other groups are also there, you can see. So overall, these microbial phyla, they are based on culturable as well as unculturable study. Okay, so some of the major phyla of bacteria based on 16S ribosomal RNA sequence comparison, and in this picture all phyla they are mentioned, all they are characterized for their 16S ribosomal RNA sequence comparison. Okay, means they are identified, they are studied by using these 16S rRNA ribosomal gene sequences. So depicted are the major phyla of bacteria that have cultivated species, and the colored portion, it represents the microbial community that we can culture, and analysis of 16S RNA gene sequence from natural environment suggests that there are more than 80 bacterial phyla can be distinguished. So up to the date 80 phyla they are recognized, and out of that 80 phyla, near about only 27 bacterial phyla contain previously cultivated microorganism, with many phyla represented by only one or few isolates, and some phyla containing only one described species. Okay, if you see culture representative versus phylotypes, so here all bacterial phyla they are mentioned, and the bars they are indicated with two colors, that is green and red colors. And if you look at the carefully at that figure, you will find very interesting that the green colored portion is the only portion that is well characterized after culturing, and the red color bar indicates, means these microorganisms they are not cultured, they cannot be cultured in laboratory, and they are identified on the basis of their 16S rRNA ribosomal sequences. Okay, so major chunk of microbial community we have today is based on their 16S rRNA ribosomal characterization. Okay, so as compared to total microbial community, 99% of microbes they cannot culture, but still we can study them by using metagenomic analysis, and this red colored bar shows the 16S rRNA phylogenetic based analysis, and most of the members they are still uncultured. Okay, so number of cultured and characterized species they are represented with green bars, or they are indicated by green bars, and known 16S rRNA gene sequences that are known as phylotypes they are indicated with red bars. For each of the 29 major bacterial phyla here, out of 80 only 29 major bacterial phyla they are mentioned that have at least one characterized species in pure culture. Okay, so only 29 to 27 phyla are there for which we have at least one member of this representative phyla which is studied by culturing. Okay, so also shown are revealed data for different classes of proteobacteria. It is the well characterized phyla. You can see that proteobacteria contains gamma, alpha, beta, delta, epsilon and zeta groups. Okay, so differences between the size of red and green bars indicate that the degree to which members of each group are common in natural environments but difficult to cultivate in isolation. So in short, we can say that most of the microbial community is unculturable, and we can only study them by using 16S rRNA ribosomal based methods. So half of the bacterial phyla recognized so far consists entirely as a yet uncultured bacteria, and have been described solely on the basis of their 16S rRNA gene sequences. So far, only 5 phyla of Actinobacteria, bacteroids, Cyanobacteria, Firmicutes, as well as Proteobacteria include species that produces bioactive molecules. These studies, these are based on culturable characteristics, and these 5 phyla represents 95% of all cultivated and published species. So these are the major bacterial phyla out of 18 bacterial phyla, and only members of this phyla, they are majorly studied by cultivating these microbes, and it contains Actinobacteria, bacteroids, Cyanobacteria, Firmicutes, as well as Proteobacteria. And these 5 phyla include species that produces bioactive molecules, and these 5 phyla represents 95% of all cultivated and published species. Okay, the rest of the phyla with cultivated members represents only 5% of all published species. So by using this data, we can say that major chunk of microbial community is unrevealed, or we cannot culture them. Sorry for the inconvenience. So the enrichment and cultivation techniques developed by Pasteur, Koch, Beijerinck, and Winogradsky sustained microbiological research for centuries. So these are some of the scientists who discovered culturing of microbes. And conventional cultivation of microorganisms, however, is selective and is biased towards growth of specific microorganism. So most of the cells that are obtained from environment and visualized by microscope are visible, but they do not generally visible colonies on plates. Okay, so most of the microbial communities, we can observe them under microscope, but we cannot culture them. We cannot observe them as a colony. Okay, so the growth of at least 10⁵ cells in a colony on plate count medium is required for visualizing colonies by eye alone. And the plate growth media in common use selects for microorganisms that are fast grow to high density, or resist to high concentration of nutrients, and are able to grow in isolation. So it could be argued that these traditional cultivation strategies conditions that are completely different to natural environments of many microorganisms, and are important contributing factor to failure to cultivation to most of the microbes in pure culture. So traditional culture methods that we are using to the date, they are not sufficient. There are some loopholes in these culturing methods, so that we cannot culture most of the microbial community in laboratory conditions. So it has been often claimed that plate count methods are unsuitable for cultivation of bacteria, and that members of bacterial groups without cultivated representatives are non-culturable. So new cultivation methods have been developed to increase the number of culturable bacterial species, and some of the scientists, they have tried in that various methods have been used to physically reduce the number and diversity of bacteria within mixed samples before its cultivation, and this includes filtration methods, then density gradient centrifugation, then elutration, then extinction dilution, whereby samples they are diluted. So before culturing actual this unculturable microbial community, various methods have been used to physically reduce the microbial load and diversity. Some of the scientists, they have tried, say for example Jansen and co-workers invented that the culturability of soil microorganisms using diluted nutrient broth. So Jansen and co-workers investigated culturability of soil microorganisms using diluted nutrient broth by assuming that many of the as yet uncultivated microorganisms, they are inhibited by high concentration of nutrients. So this group of scientists, they use diluted nutrients, and the reason behind using diluted nutrients is that the high nutrient concentration may inhibit the growth of most of the microbes. So careful observation indicated that more than 90% of cells in soil sample were potentially viable, and they respond that if it was possible potentially viable, the reason that if it was possible to increase the culturability of soil bacteria above 5% of species present. So the accepted estimated upper limit for cultivation studies from soil sample, it would be feasible to cultivate bacteria that belong to some of the as yet uncultured groups. So basically, in short, we can say that diluted cultures, they are favorable as compared to concentrated nutrients. Sorry, diluted nutrients, they are favorable as compared to concentrated nutrients. Then the next attempt is to keep microbial incubation to some extended period. Okay, so extended incubation time of at least 10 weeks were needed to allow maximum colony growth, and in case of most of the microbes that are present in soil as well as in water environment, they need somewhat longer incubation time as compared to normal bacteria that can grow in 24 to 48 hours. So extended incubation time of at least 10 weeks were needed to allow maximum colony growth. At least some of the bacteria cultivated by this improved method were previously thought to be unculturable. So by using this technique, previously unculturable bacteria, now they are culturable. It is possible to culture them, and this research showed that isolation of these bacteria in pure culture did not require uh, elaborate or expensive cultivation strategies. So simply by changing or extending the incubation period, maximum unculturable bacteria can be made them culturable to grow them in laboratory condition. So using this approach, new organisms from groups that are poorly represented by cultivated representatives such as members of actinobacteria and varicellobacteria, as well as isolates that are closely related to members of well characterized families, were obtained, and other studies investigated the effect of signal compounds on the cultivation efficiency of aquatic bacteria, and this approach uses pure cultures of bacteria from aquatic environments were recovered from planktonic assessment blankets, and Bruns and co-workers, it is a group of scientists, they showed that adding 10 micromole of CAMP to a complex medium allowed cultivation of 10% of cells that were detected microscopic technique. So by adding 10 micromole of CAMP, it is actually the signal compound. So by adding this compound, most of the microbes, they can grow, and these microbes previously were unculturable. So however, cultures obtained with CMP added to medium could not be recovered in absence of signal compound. So this is signal compound, and there are many kind of signal compounds like CMP, and in some cases the obtained isolates resembled numerically significant members of planktonic community. So basically this approach was used for ocean microbes. Then next approach, some of the workers, they have tried to mimic the natural environment of microorganism to optimize the isolation of fuel cultures in utero. Okay, so mimic the natural environment means the simulation of natural conditions or natural environment. Suppose aquarium is the simulation of aquatic environment. Okay, we kept in some of the houses or some of the homes, you can see the aquarium is there. It contains fishes of different colors, and the aquarium is nothing but the simulated form of natural aquatic environment. Okay, simulation, artificial simulation. So some of the workers, they have tried to mimic the natural environments of microorganisms to optimize the isolation of pure cultures in vitro and to provide additional chemicals that are likely to be found in environment, especially in case of marine microorganisms. They were placed in diffusion chambers and incubated in an aquarium that simulated environmental conditions of sampling site. Okay, so the members of the selected sealed diffusion chambers are allowed to exchange chemicals between chambers and environment, but restrict the movement of cells. Although the isolated cultures did not contain new phylotypes, large number of colonies of varying morphologies were obtained after 1 week of incubation in these chambers. So the isolates that were obtained did not grow when placed on solid artificial media, but form colonies in presence of other microorganisms. So simulation is another approach that can used, and we can simulate or we can mimic the natural environments, and it is very difficult to add or to maintain each and every component of natural environment in artificially, but some of the workers, they have tried and they got little success in this approach. The next approach is dilution cultivation method for growing bacteria from oligotrophic aquatic environments, was developed by Button and co-workers, and population of marine microorganisms were counted before being diluted and inoculated into sterilized seawater and examined for presence of 10 days to cells per ml over the 9 weeks of time interval using flow cytometry. Okay, so a dilution of cultivation method is uh, used, is the another approach that is used in cultivation of microbial communities, and doubling time was observed by using this approach, and they were in the range of 1 day to 1 week. So some of the microbes, they will grow in 1 day, and some of the microbes, they grow in, or they double the number in 1 week. So on the basis of these experiments, the authors concluded that 60% of marine bacteria are viable, and that the previous low estimates of viability that were obtained using traditional cultivation techniques were owing to the fact that most of the marine bacteria reach stationary phase before attaining visible turbidity. So nutrient addition stimulate the growth of some of the microbes but inhibit the growth of most of the microorganisms. So in short, we can say that dilution cultivation method can be used as another approach to cultivate so-called unculturable bacteria. So these are some of the microbial cultivation methods so far we have discussed. The next, it is an example of isolation of single cell by using optical tweezers, and actually it was a case study that was used to cultivate pink filamentous organism, that is EM17, from Yellowstone National Park, which is situated in Austria, on the basis of its phylotype. And the isolate means some of the scientists, they attempt to cultivate Yellowstone National Park pink filamentous organism, that is EM17, on the basis of its phylotype, and they tried to isolate it as a pure culture from single cell. First they isolate single cell and they tried to grow that cell into multiple times to obtain colonies. So this study was carried out in 1994, and the phylotype of the pink filamentous organism, that is commonly present in Yellowstone National Park, where pH is neutral and it is actually hot spring, it has been determined, and it was closely related to aquaferis. So in the 4 years since, additional genera of organisms in this group had been identified, and Hydrogenobacter and Cladogenobacterium, these are some of the examples, and all of these cultivated members of these phylogenetic groups, they are physiologically similar, being thermophilic hydrogen oxidizers. So Yellowstone National Park is an high temperature containing environment that is called as hot spring, containing neutral pH, and Yellowstone, it contains most of the pink filamentous bacteria, and some of the scientists, they tried to isolate these pink filamentous bacteria from these environmental conditions, and they got succeeded. So they use optical tweezers, a series of enrichment culture based on the known conditions in October spring and optimal growth conditions for growth of aquifers were made. So they simulate the environment that were present at that spring. The chemical composition of October spring was mimicked. So basically they mimic the environment that was present at that Yellowstone National Park in laboratory conditions, and they design artificial media or environment that mimics that Yellowstone National Park condition, and the chemical composition of October spring was mimicked in detail and was provided with both hydrogen as well as oxygen in low concentration of 3%, nearly about 3%, and these enrichment were inoculated with vast pink filaments from October spring. The progress of enrichment cultures was assessed by performing microscopic examination to monitor the growth of pink filaments, and by testing samples by fluorescent in situ hybridization with EM17 probes. Although none of the enrichment cultures resulted in pink filamentous growth, some of the enrichment yield good growth of rod shaped pink bacterium that hybridized strongly with this probe. So in order to isolate this organism in pure culture, a 1064 nanometer, about 1 micrometer wavelength focused infrared laser was used as a optical tweezer. This is the technique, and in one of the, it is a kind of microscope that is used to capture single cells that look like ones that are hybridized with probes. So probed bacteria, they were used by using this microscope to visualize, and that fish analysis kills the cell, they are fixed. So you can only test cultures after the fact, that you can not be test individual cells before separating them out of growing them. So this is the, then these individual cells, after microscopic observations, they were injected into fresh culture medium for growth. Of course, many cells were collected and cultured in this way, and the resulting growth, if any, was tested using the EMC1. Again, the growth was tested by using specific probe which is designed for this particular bacteria. So some of these cultures did not grow, and when tested were at least strongly hybridized to specific probes. Most of them were unculturable, but some of them can grow. So with pure culture in hand, the excessive RNA sequence of this organism was determined and found to be nearly identical with EM17 sequences. So this is the approach, one of the approach that was used to cultivate Yellowstone National Park containing pink filamentous organism. The next method is high throughput sequencing. Okay, actually general ecologists refer to distinct categories of ecological niches: the fundamental niche and realized niche. The fundamental niche refers to the range of environments in which species will be survive when it is not resource limited, such as may result from competition with other species. Okay. So by contrast, the realized niche refers to the range of natural environments supporting the species when it is confronted with the factors such as resource limitation, then predation and competition from other species. So this distinction between fundamental and realized niche yields a clue as to why some of the microbes, they are so difficult to isolate from these environments. To tackle this problem, high throughput cultivation strategies, they are developed, and the development of high throughput cultivation methods enabled identification of large number of extinct cultures. Okay. So over the period of 3 years, several new microbial strains were isolated, and including members of previously uncultured groups that are abundant in seawater and compared with the previous studies that used concept of extinction cultures, the use of microdata dishes in combination with an automated cell array and imaging process increased the level of sensitivity at which cells could be detected and shortened the incubation times for cells with low growth rate. So the percent of cells that could be cultured by this approach was several orders of magnitude higher than could be achieved by growth on agar plates. Oh,